Hi there, welcome back to a new video. I'm very happy to have you today. My name is Robin Shindelka, for those of you that don't know me yet, and I'm a life coach specialized in helping people with anxiety, mental struggles, such as depression or whatever kind of mental challenges you're going through currently. And today we will be talking about 6 really helpful tools for your mental health to improve your overall mental health and emotional well-being. These are very effective tools from the first to the last one. So be sure to watch this video, take a pen, take some notes and write this down because it's really going to be some helpful tools that you can use. And before we start, I just quickly want to take a moment to talk to you guys about my new course that is finally launched online. I've been working on it for months, talking about it on my Instagram. So those of you that follow me there probably already know. But this course is a very approachable and affordable way to coach yourself through whatever you're struggling with. I'm a big believer that the best way to actually get out of mental challenges is to find tools within yourself to get out and to help yourself. So that's what I've based this course on. It's going to be a full package to help understand your mind, transform your mind, and also change it for long-term inner peace and happiness. And it's going to give you theory that you need, a lot of practical tools that are really transformative to help you change whatever emotion you're currently struggling with towards inner peace and unconditional happiness in a way that you can get this insight just by yourself. So you don't need therapy, you don't need anyone else to heal you. You're just going to be doing this by yourself. So I'll put a link in the description, go check that out. And without further ado, let's get to tip number 1 of 6 things you can do to improve your overall mental health and emotional well-being. First one is to be mindful with your time. We often underestimate how much impact our habits and our actions throughout the day actually have on our mental health. We wake up and first thing we do is we take our phone or we spend time just laying down thinking about our misery, but time can be used both in your advantage as in your disadvantage when it comes to mental health. And so to be mindful of your time means to be mindful of the fact that what you're doing to use your time is actually having an impact on how you're going to feel later. So I've just listed some small things you can do in that area to help improve your mental health by being mindful of that time that you're spending on doing things. So first of all, using an alarm clock instead of your phone in the morning so you don't have that urge to immediately grab your phone and be unmindful first thing in the day, to really help you get up out of bed and just carry on with your day right away in a positive way. The second thing is to just limit your overall screen time, because you have no idea how much you're actually being influenced subconsciously the moments when you're at your phone. And I'm not saying you should not have a smartphone, you should not be on social media. I just think to limit that time and to instead use the time you're normally wasting just scrolling and scrolling on your phone, instead to do something that is really going to benefit your mental health, such as working out or reading or meditating, is actually going to have a huge impact on you. And we often think that our mental health challenges need to be fixed with these huge things, but it's often the combination of a lot of small things that have a really great impact. So I would say that is also an important one. Another thing you can do in that area is, instead of, for example, in the evening, you've been at work all day, you've been busy, and you have some time to relax. Our first response, mine including, is to just sit down on the couch and just watch Netflix all day because it's the easiest, it's the most approachable, and it's just like we just want to turn off the switch. But instead of doing that, why don't you just for an hour before you start watching Netflix, just say, I'm just going to read for 1 hour, or I'm just going to listen to this podcast, or I'm just going to do this course that I've been wanting to join, to really do something that is going to help me after I have done it, because it's about doing things that are not just good for you in the moment, but also long term. And then afterwards, if you still want to watch some Netflix before you go to bed, you can definitely do that. So be mindful of your time in the evening as well. And a fourth kind of tip in that area is, when you're stuck doing something you don't want to do, to use that time mindfully as well. For example, when you're stuck in traffic, you have the option to complain and to waste all your time and energy on resisting the fact that you're in traffic. Or you can use that time that you're in traffic to listen to a podcast that's going to help you feel better, learn something about your mind, about just being happy in general. Or you can call a friend that you have wished to talk to in a long time, but you just didn't have the time to yet. So there's so many things we can do in those moments when we're cooking, when we're cleaning, when we are doing things we actually don't want to do. And you can use that time as well in as a benefit for your mental health. Second thing is to prioritize peace over happiness. And this is a very, very important one. So a very big reason why we struggle with our mental health is because we resist certain emotions that we feel. When we feel sad, we resist the sadness. When we feel anxious, we resist the anxiety. We wish that things were different. But it's actually this desire for things to be different that gives us the hurting, that gives us the suffering. It's not the emotion itself that you're feeling that gives you pain, it's the resistance towards it. It's saying, oh, I really hate the fact that this is how I'm feeling right now. And one way to immediately get rid of that suffering is to go straight to peace, which is to surrender to however you're feeling right now, is to accept whatever emotion that comes and being present with that emotion. Just instead of running away from the emotion, instead of fighting the emotion, to just be present with it. Just witness it, accept it, embrace it, be present with it, and don't judge it. So you can use non-judgment throughout your day, throughout your life, to kind of neutralize the way you look at things, to neutralize what happens to you, what the people around you do to you, to not say this is horrible or I wish this didn't happen, but just to say, okay, it happened, what can I do to move forward? And when you prioritize that peace over happiness, you don't necessarily attach yourself anymore to those really high highs that external things give you, but you also don't get dragged down by those lows again. And you find more inner stability instead of just fluctuating up and down, because as nice it is to be high sometimes in those high emotions, it is also really unnice or not pleasant at all to fall down. And it's much more sustainable and much more peaceful to just choose to be at peace throughout all those circumstances by accepting whatever it is life gives you. So the third thing is to take time for silence, because our mental health comes from our mind as well. And our mind, just like any other muscle that we use, sometimes just needs to rest. And we have used our rest to scroll on our phone, to watch movies, to do things that are even filling our mind more and more, even though we don't actually have to do something. Our mind is still working to get all this input and process it. And so to really give our mind a rest, just like we need to sleep to restore our physical health, we need sometimes to take moments just for complete silence and to not consume anything. So you can meditate. That's a really important one that has changed a lot for me, to just be still with your eyes closed for at least 12 minutes, at least once a day, to kind of just shut out all the noise and allow your mind to process the things that are going on, to just let it sink in. Second thing is you can just take a walk without a podcast, without listening to music, without calling someone. Just enjoy being outside in silence and just with no other purpose than just to be still and allow your mind to just take in everything that it's been having to process. Just on those moments, your mind will be rambling, and it will be much more desirable to just listen to something to get your focus off your mind. But sometimes that ramble is necessary to just let it process all the information you've been getting so it can cool down a little bit. And then the last thing is when you're cooking something, when you're doing something such as cooking or cleaning, to do it really presently without wanting to distract yourself, without wanting to fill up that space, just being present with that silence, with that thing you're doing, to give your mind some rest, to just cool down, as I was saying. So the fourth thing you can do for an overall better mental health is by connecting through nature and selfless service. So when we feel bad, we often feel isolated. We feel alone and we fail to see our connection to the higher nature of things, to the bigger picture. However, we're just so much more than the I. We are also a we. We are connected with each other. We are connected with energy, with nature. The same energy that is in the trees, that is in nature, is also in us. And so there's two ways in which we can feel that connection a lot more. And one of them is by spending time in nature daily or weekly, seeing the intelligence of life that is in us, also reflected in plants and animals and things around us. By just witnessing nature, being present in it, and really paying attention to nature, just so not just looking at it, but really paying attention to the energy of it, you can literally feel the connection we have with nature. And this makes us feel less isolated. It makes us feel less alone because we realize how we are actually very similar to the trees, to nature, to a lot of things about nature, which can give you that feeling of connection. And as I was saying, the feeling of isolation and disconnection is one of the biggest reasons why we feel anxious or unhappy. So just doing something simple like that can have a huge impact on how we feel, and it has done that for me as well. And second of all, by providing selfless service, we also feel a lot more connected because when you're doing something, when you're working, when you are taking action and you're doing it only for yourself, it's not just that we don't want to feel selfish, but it actually makes us literally isolate ourselves from other people. It makes us literally focus so much attention on the I that we fail to see our connection with higher purpose, with other people. But when you do something out of selfless service, so this means literally doing something for someone else with no other purpose of just serving them and making them happy and helping them, you are directly connecting yourself to that person. You are directly connecting yourself to humanity. And that connection and that love just comes flowing back to you. And that's also how you feel a lot better yourself. It should never be your motivation to do something to feel better yourself, but it is a natural result of it. And I found that implementing selfless service in my job, for example, which is of course easy since I'm a coach, really has just a huge impact on me as well, because it makes me feel meaningful and purposeful when I work for the only benefit of asking myself the question, what can I do to serve others today? The fifth thing is moving your body. So, as I was saying, our physical and mental health are very much connected. And by taking care of our physical health, we automatically also take care of our mental health. And that works in two aspects. First of all, the obvious reason, which is when you move regularly, you just feel better in your own skin. You feel more confident, you feel more energized, and this will just help you just feel great when you're going throughout the day. But second of all, when you work out and when you use your muscles, certain chemicals get released. We call that happiness chemicals that then turn into come in your blood flow and actually have a happy effect on how you feel. So exercise and using your muscles can literally make you feel better. So things you can do to move your body around. It doesn't have to be running 10 kilometers or doing something crazy. You can just take 15 to 20 minutes every morning to just dance and to just move your body and listen to music and just make sure your heart rate goes up. You can run, you can cycle, you can swim, you can do any kind of cardio that you like. What I've been recently getting into the last year is weightlifting. So I've been going to the gym and really trying to get stronger, literally using every muscle of my body. And that has had a huge impact on my mental health. Doing yoga, stretching, any kind of physical exercise. And last but not least, you guys, this one is probably the most important one, is to actually learn how to gain control over your own mind. So even though you don't always feel like it, you are actually in full control. You are in full charge of your own mind. You are in charge of your thoughts. You are in charge of your emotions. You are in charge of your body. And the reason why we feel that we're not in charge is because sometimes when we repeat a pattern so many times, our body learns how to do it better than our mind. And then it will become a pattern, like it's on autopilot, and we feel like we don't have control over it anymore. But you have the power to change that autopilot as well. You have the power to select your thoughts so many times that those thoughts become your new normal. And in order to teach you how to do that, I've created my last new course called Opening the Inner Door to Happiness, where I teach you completely how to gain full control over your mind, how to choose your emotions, how to choose your thoughts, and how to make sure that you get into a new positive pattern so that you feel happy, peaceful, and as I was saying, in control over your own emotional state. So I will link the course in the description for you to have a look there. I promise you the course is going to be worth it. I've put in so much effort and I've just combined every possible tool that I know that has helped me recover from anxiety, depression, and an eating disorder in order for you to do the same. So I really want to thank you guys for watching today. I hope these tools, these tips were helpful. So let me know in the comments which one you preferred or which one you really think you could implement. I always love hearing from you guys in my comments or on Instagram. It keeps me motivated to keep making these videos. So I just want to thank you in advance. And I really hope you have a great day, a great week, and I'll see you next video. Bye.